So you guys help me welcome Jim Keller.
I'm bummed. Todd told me you were going to play the YMCA song when I came up. Young man.
It would have been interesting. I was thinking about we're going to get a person to like do like the production stuff, and like they can play the really odd songs you come in, or the house band.
You guys are killing it. You got a house band person, you got a transaction coordinator person.
We're like we're just trying to stop doing everything ourselves.
That's funny. I just was sitting there talking to Hannah, basically saying that exact same thing.
Because you're tired of doing everything yourself?
Because I do way too much of these things myself.
But you have a TC though.
We pay a big amount of money for a top-notch TC. In fact, I was just sitting there signing papers for a sale from my TC.
You still sign them with ink?
Oh, no, I was doing it electronically on my phone. I just going through.
I was just clarifying.
2 deals, sitting there signing them as we speak.
So like when you get the escrow packet, because we use the same escrow company, so when you get the escrow packet, just. That's pretty much what my day looks like.
I hate to say that I don't read them, but I only read them when they go wrong, and then
find a way to fix it.
We are all smart enough to know we can fix anything we get involved in.
Isn't that like a really terribly dangerous position to be in? Because like I feel the same way.
It gets scary. It gets very scary.
And then so things get weird, but somehow you always find a way out of every single one.
Yeah, I think it's misleading to say that. I mean, yes, I know I just said I sign them and don't read them, but I know what lines are really important to me. I know what boxes are very important to me.
Also clarify, you have a professional who writes them for you who's very good.
We got good people around us. My wife has been running deals for many years. My daughter is incredibly competent. She's an agent for us. The agents that I work with, I make sure. They know that I know what I'm doing. So I get good service like that. But there's still mistakes that happen, and we correct them. They
always end up being the small ones. Like an example, I don't want to get to like for people who don't know your background in a minute, but the other day I was telling Todd we paid for a binder on a property and then we didn't use it on the resale, right? And I thought, crap, how do we not use a binder? For anybody not knowing, a binder means you're sort of like prepaying insurance. And so when you go to resell a property, you only pay for a very small portion of the insurance you would have paid for title insurance. And I go sit down with Donna, or both our mutual escrow officer, Jim introduced me to. And I said, hey, we missed a deal. And then she basically goes and explained to me why we missed the binder. And we didn't miss it. It was actually on purpose, and went through like the whole background of how terrible the title company was who issued the first title policy. And she's like, you wanted an Eagle policy, trust me, just put it together. And she goes, yeah, we get your instructions from we have this automated transaction coordination email, and we just ignore them when it calls out First American if you had another binder. We always call the title company and ask. I'm like, oh my God, like that's the mistake that we missed without a professional.
Yeah, I really understand that more and more. I mean, just a couple of days ago, you might be laughing at me right now, but insurance is one of my biggest line items right now.
It's so expensive.
Thousands of dollars a month. So be careful what you wish for. You all want to run 10, 12, 15, 20 properties. Insurance for those properties it's a huge amount of money
for
that
good
goes
insurance.
out every month. For good insurance. These are like your house gets broken into and they steal a big silver jack. Yeah. Or what was it they stole out of that house?
Which one?
The one in Los Angeles that you
had.
The
Palisades one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they stole all kinds of goofy stuff. It was like $12,000 in
so
staging
if
material.
someone steals something out of the house, I would like to get my,
an antique drafting desk.
Yeah, I'd like to get something back at least. The point that I'm making though is we started. I used to say, okay, I'm paying this much for the property, or it's worth this much to replace. I usually have, if it's a private financer, I still have a lien holder. I still have someone that I've got to pay if something goes wrong. So I essentially was over-insuring the property. So So I'll do the math quick for everybody. I'm paying $250 for the property. I'm putting $50 in. That means I'm into it for $300,000. So if you insure it for $300,000, so if there's a catastrophe, you get all your money back. Right off the bat, I was sort of stupid because I paid for a policy like that up front. And I'm essentially overinsured because a large part of that is land value, and this land is still going to be there, okay? So right off the bat, when you're doing 2 deals a year, not really relevant to what we're talking about. Yeah. You don't even notice it. If you're doing 2 deals a week, this is a killer. This is and I won't do 100 deals, but the point is that if you do 50, it's a lot of money.
It's $1,000 a deal.
It's a lot of money. So now what we do, and we just started this with a 35-minute phone meeting where we put the right value when we purchase it, and then the insurance carrier, because now we're like a big client for the insurance carrier. So they're saying, oh, if you want to call, if you put a kitchen in, you can upgrade your policy. If you put a roof on, you can upgrade your policy, which that becomes kind of a nightmare for us. And I like less work, not more work. So we're just going to now the kitchen. As soon as the kitchen gets installed, so we've done what, 3/4 of the outlay of we're going to revalue the property and get and add to the policy. So if there's a fire, if there's a catastrophe, myself and my investor is made whole. So the savings, though, is substantial, and that's really kind of the and by using so the phone call went something like, because I got upset because of the amount of money we were paying. That's where all this always comes down to.
I imagine this conversation, we're like, why the hell is my policy so expensive? Then you go through all the other ones for the last year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. And so I call, and my wife does this part of the business for us. My wife wasn't quite getting the whole thing, and I got on the phone, and really quickly we identified what the problem was. And then he says, I'll call you back in a few minutes. And within an hour and a half, he goes, oh wow, I see what the problem is. So and it was we were overinsured. So good insurance company though wants to do business with us and is now going to save me. Hey, it's a lot of money. It might be $700 or $800 a month, maybe $1,000 a month that we save. That's a lot of money.
If you do enough deals, it could be between $20,000 and $50,000 a year.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah,
so.
It could buy you that antique Porsche you've been talking about.
I'm a long way from that, but anyway.
Oh, come on, they're not that expensive.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, I because people don't have enough of your background, like Jim has a long line of real estate experience, even all the way back to the window business. You can do the 5-10 minute.
So I'll try to do it in 5 here. So it's not so much my history, it's what I want all of you to see. So before I've only been doing investing a few years. In fact, Claudia here in the front row sold me a house 4 years ago. It was like one of the very first flips I really did, okay? So this can happen really quick for a lot of folks, but you're already kind of doing this business. Believe me, if you're in medical sales, or if you run a medical office, or if you're on the line at some manufacturing company, you're already doing some facet of this business. For me, I started, I failed in a series of sort of like, cruddy jobs. I sold frames and lenses. I did a lot of I thought I was in medical sales, by the way. We can convince ourselves a lot of stupid things. Okay, but I did a lot of really stupid. I was never a really good employee. I was kind of, I was foolish and young, and put my family in a lot of peril because of it. Okay, and I did construction for many years, and I ran big jobs, and I learned how to, I hung drywall and And in the end, I was running, big multi-floor, multi-tenant construction job sites, but I hated working with the guys. I hated working with them, so I got a job in sales, and I never really got a great opportunity. I was always sort of like, the wrong fit everywhere, and I did loans for a while, and I'm not a good lender. I'm just not. But what was really cool is I learned how to read a rate sheet. I understand. There are a few people now that can manage a transaction from a lender standpoint better than me. At least I think so.
You
like
tell them that when you yell
like
at them,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. But that was a good experience. It was 2 years, but I learned a lot. From there, I started. From there, I did real estate a little bit, but I was really kind of miserable at that. And I started working for a new home sales company. And I did fairly well with a couple of companies. And then the company I work with Claudia at, I happened to find a guy there. I'll call him a mentor. He was a little younger than me, but he spoke Jim. I mean, he really knew how to get. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You got a particular kind of crazy about you.
Yeah.
We all do. We all have.
You have to do this business.
Exactly. Okay. So I know. I'm kind of my mouth talks too much. My daughter's over there going, "Don't talk so much. Don't talk so much." So
It's more fun when you do that.
exactly. So, and I get myself in trouble and so on and so forth. But I learned from this one particular gentleman. He kind of honed me, and I became very good at sales, at selling new homes, and how to bring them in and greet them and be nice to people. Be nice to people. And really, that's what it is. It's nice. It's respectful. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's, this guy rolling in a NC State uniform in his, in the Chrysler M class with 22 rims on it, and he comes in telling me he's going to pay all cash for the house, or if it's a little couple with, the wife with a little bow under her chin, in a little sweater, and they got 5 kids, or the couple with the guy who's got a little ranch hat and a belt buckle, and he's got stepstone of like 7 or 8 kids. It didn't matter what color, what economic background they were in, how they spoke, what their level of education was. If I served them, I got a sale from them. And I was very good at that, very good at finding the money, finding out how to write a contract from them. And that part of the business,
It's invaluable.
I'm
It's
telling you
invaluable.
right now, it was the part that got me, that made me, if I'm anything today, it's because of that part of the business. Unfortunately, that all failed in 2007.
It just ended.
Yeah, it just
It was just the
ended.
end of it.
It ended, and I went into resale, and I failed miserably. It was a very it wasn't new home construction.
I wish I could have called you when you were a resale agent.
Oh, dude,
because we were both struggling as terrible at the same time.
It was horrible. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. And oddly enough, my wife came in. My wife wanted to help me, and we've been married 30 years. Love her. I wish she was here tonight. So we've gone through a lot together, and she was helping. And one day I blew up at her. I got a temper, and I blew up, and I'm like, just go out and find clients, and I can handle hundreds of them. Well, gosh darn it, that's what she did. And this was back when everyone's. This is how technical she was. If the grass was dead, she figured somebody was in trouble. That's how technical it was. So all of this, I need property radar, and I need a farm, and all this is.
It's bullshit.
It's crap. It's complete. Because my wife was a housewife. Okay, she worked, and somehow, within a matter of under a year, I was feeling guilty from the other salespeople that would look at me going, another listing, how'd you do that?
Hold on. So I'm gonna pull you off the high horse for a second, because that's how it's seeming.
Sorry.
Not you, the wife, because you're praising your wife. who does an incredibly good job at what?
So she has empathy, and
Extreme like empathy.
yes. So my wife is first of all, like I'm sort of a jerk. I want what I want, and I want it when I want it. Okay, and
Me too.
I say, I'm being honest with all of you, and I hope you're being honest with yourselves, because I know you're all the same. Okay.
You're not here because you want cuddles.
There you go. There you go. So what my wife was very good at keeping our marriage together. Okay, and having to kind of eat crow with me for many, many years. And she learned to go into a home and to say to people, hey, I'd like to help you. And maybe have to listen to how the husband wants to keep the house, but the wife knows they can't afford it and they haven't paid a payment in 8 years. And man, we have heard, guys, I was on the phone a couple of nights ago with an old lady telling me she has a shotgun in her hand and doesn't know what it is she's going to do with herself. So if you can't handle that part of this business, don't get in it. This is the wrong business for you to get into. You've got to be able to speak to people with empathy. And in the background, I got my daughter saying to me, that's the slow down, slow down. I got my daughter saying, or my wife saying to me, give her some encouragement. And you've got to have people like this in your life. You've got to have people around you that are helping you.
But isn't that like the basis of a team, like the unwavering belief in the other person's skill, that you hone each other, right? Your family is your team, right?
Yeah.
So you hone each other as you go. You're like, all right, this is the thing you don't know the world is perceiving about you, and the other person notices it. Like you'll notice, I've talked to you in depth, and you've said, well, damn it, I couldn't get Terry to just close the deal. Well, that's not her job. And so you're sitting like, okay, what you're really saying is, I just need to step in because this is now my part.
Correct.
And so you have like these pieces that all come together, and you have managed to, within your family, put together a set of skills separately to close the transaction. And that's, I think, built to success.
And it is. And the funny part about it, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but I guess if I'm really here to do one thing for you, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. When I say our family, and it's our family, it's our business. We don't really talk to each other like family, or think of each other as family when we're working. My daughter calls me Jim. He calls my wife Terry, and I call my wife Terry, all the time. I mean, she's not my wife. We work really hard together, but we sat down. We went to a little meeting place. This was just a couple of days ago, and we had it out. I mean, we had it out, and it was defining roles, and it was what are you going to be responsible for, and it's just like any family. Forget about family. It's the Inland Empire Real Estate Club. How many of the guys have let you down? You don't have to answer the question. I know they have.
No, totally.
Okay, because you have this dream of this room being 10 times the size and being, your own television network.
At some
don't
point,
get it.
I want to fill the Fox Theater, right?
They don't. Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah,
I
have
remember
a
we were going
picture-
to have
the Schwarzenegger event. I still want to do
Schwarzenegger.
it. And you can quote me, and Todd will
It's
Todd will
gonna
laugh.
happen.
I'm
It's
going
gonna
to make
happen.
this happen. I am determined. If I were to pick an end goal, not that it's going to end for this club, it's that I want to, on the floor of the Fox Theater, interview Arnold Schwarzenegger about his real estate deals, just like this, and fill the whole damn place up. There's 1,600 seats. I want to fill this place up.
And I was there 2 years ago when he told me he was going to do it.
And I have a picture of me standing on the stage, taken from behind me, looking out at an empty audience. Like that's like my thing. If I could pick a thing that I want, and the only way to get there, right? One by one by one.
There you go.
And not transactions, by people. That's why I do these business
I agree.
meetings. That's why we meet people here, one by one. We build a community.
I agree. And so in our company, I'm a bull in the china shop. I'm very good at finding new people. I'm very good at bringing new people in. I'm very good at talking and bullshitting and just, and
It's
just
a whirlwind.
I am. I'm a bull in the china shop. Okay, And if I have good people that are able to kind of pick up the china before it hits the floor or salvage what falls on the floor, I do wonderfully well. And all of you have to figure out who you are in that company. So my wife is forever telling me to slow down, and we don't need more, and we don't need this, and we don't need that. And my daughter's a little more cerebral. She's kind of watching this whole thing go down, so this education that you're doing right here is great because I'm talking about my wife and daughter, went to a Keller Williams, they call it family reunion. It's another way to get $800 out of their people.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. They went to
corporate
Vegas.
event.
Yeah, an event. They went to Vegas. They got to listen to Gary Keller, who's the founder of Keller Williams. He's wrote all those books, Shift and The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and all of those kind of things. I don't know why my hand's up there, but
because that's a shelf you don't
exactly.
reach for
That's the
books
shelf.
on.
I never read that. I never read that book. Anyway, what I'm saying is they got an opportunity to see, like my daughter comes back and talks about the 28-year-old agent who has Keller Williams offices in Austin and Houston and Dallas, and this guy's making millions of dollars. Or there's a real estate team up in Seattle or Washington or somewhere up there that the guy is a bona fide $10 million a year income producer. Okay, so guys, that's kind of freaks you out. And I know I could. My daughter texts me. They were there for 3 or 4 days in Vegas, and she says, "Wow, Gary Keller's here talking about how all of us can reshape our business lives in 5 years. You could be totally different from where you're at." So that's exciting for all of us. So if you're making $500,000 a year, you could make $10 million a year in 5 years. It's up to you. If you're making, guys, there's been years I've made $16,000 a year.
I had some of those. I had negative years.
Well, $16,000 a year is negative a year, by the way, because the rent's a little more than that. But the point that I'm making here is that you can make nothing and turn it all around, but it's a decision you have to make. So we had our meeting. Yeah. We all came together. I know I'm kind of all over the place.
No, it's great. No, it's perfect.
Okay. But
I'll
we had our
edit it
meeting,
together.
and we fought it out, and shit, just today.
Yeah?
My wife's at home. I got a house that's closing on Friday. I got a whole bunch of financials I got to turn in so I can make my claim against the profits on the property. So I can split, put my split together with my investor. And there's all kind of accounting that's got to be done properly. And she's, well, she's not here, so I'll say it. She's giving me excuses why she didn't do it and why she didn't set this up and, all this, that, and the other thing. And in the end, I'm looking at her going, what did we work out on last Thursday? So this is all very good stuff for all of us. And it's just the way my wife and I work it out together, okay? But it's making our company a lot better because we didn't have a list of every city in town and every gas company, electric company, public utility, and for every phone number and for each one of the zip codes. And guys, have you ever turned the water on or the power on in Mentone? Well,
good luck.
Well, I did. And let me tell you right now, who do you call? Mentone's not a city, okay?
Mentone City or Crafton Water Company.
Part of it is Yucaipa.
Yeah.
Part of it is Redlands. Depending on what side of the street you are, it was a nightmare. It took me about a day to maybe I had 4 hours into this. But guys, I don't make any money turning on the utilities. I make no money.
So who turns them on for you?
Well, I used to.
And who does
I don't
it,
do it
who does
anymore.
it now?
She does. My wife does.
So we just handed that job over to Matt.
Yes.
Like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Uh-huh.
It's the greatest thing that ever happened in my life.
Isn't it?
If you want to know what the worst part of this job is, it's turning on and off utilities or forgetting to turn on utilities and have your contractor pissed.
Or how about this? 4 months after you sell the property, you get a bill for $321.
I forgot to have the trash.
So I've been paying for Charlie's trash for the last 4 months.
Hey, and waste management is unforgiving.
Oh no, they won't let you turn on. Yeah, it's just. See, these are like the little things that that you need a team. You need people. No, excuse me. You don't need a team. If you're by yourself and today you're trying to do one deal, you don't need that. You got to like think about this stuff, and you got to get the part of it going. But I'm telling all of you right now that if you've done one deal, or you want to do 5 deals, you got to start thinking about how to put all of this kind of stuff together. So for us, it's I've got a good friend Ron. Ron's an expert at Excel. Ron helps us out with our Excel documents. You guys got to find a technique. I've got a new. Have you ever heard of Builder's Trend? I'm trying to put Mike on Builder's Trend right now.
What is it?
It's just it's an app that you can put on. I'm paying a fee to get access to it, and I upload all the houses to it. My friend Charlie showed me the app.
Really?
It's
cool or what?
It's very nice. It's
yeah, we got like 12. I got to do them. Oh, so we built our own semi-variation of this, but
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no more communicating in text, no more communicating in email. Well, everything is done.
It's in one place. Yeah.
Everything is done on the site, and
Mike is
you guys are a lot more technical than I am. Or
this is perfect for you. You don't have to set it up.
And I guess that's another part of what I was going to say is how many of you, and I got my hand up first, have been on YouTube trying to learn how to do, accounting or learn how to do. I mean, come on, fill in
That
the
should
blank.
Be everybody. If you're not on
you
YouTube learning that stuff, you're
I
not
don't know
doing
what
anything.
you're thinking, okay?
Yeah.
But the point is that you can only sit there in your bathrobe. Well, I don't wear a bathrobe, but you know what I'm saying.
If I had ever thought of you as the dude before, when you just sat at home watching YouTube videos in your bathrobe, like it immediately went Jeff Bridges, like full-blown Jeff Bridges.
I'm sitting there, in my boxers, scratching, going to my next site.
That rug really tied the room together, man.
Exactly. See, I told you I talk too much. But anyway, the point is that I'm like looking at this going, oh, I could do that. Oh, man, brain surgery? I got this down, man. No problem. Okay? So we need to take that off our plate because, to be honest with you, what I'm really good at is I'm really good at acquisitions. I'm really good at flying around to 9 different, is there 9 counties? To 5 counties. I'm really good at going to Orange County, to Lake Elsinore, up to San Bernardino, and over to LA in one day and looking at 6 properties and making offer on every one of them and be on the money on each one of them. And maybe I don't get any of them that day, or maybe I get 3 of them. And if I do, while I'm on the way to LA on the last one, I'm on the phone to my investor saying I need $250,000 put into this escrow company by tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And I'm great at that. And I got that from new home sales because I had to answer to CFOs and to people that have masters in master's degrees. And I'm just a dumb, drywall hanger, but I had to hone my skills like that. And that's what this business, to do like a lot of deals, to do your 12 deals, I know what you guys have had to do. Well, I know what you guys have had to do.
Well, so I haven't asked you. How many deals are you running on average right now at a time? Like, how many are in acquisition? I know it probably comes in waves because you have the same 6-week insanity cycle I have. How many usually working on at a time? Like, how many are in process?
So we have the same number. We have a few more going right now. We have a few more than 12, but where we get bogged down is we have. I'm very good at kind of getting into these really dirty. When I say dirty, I mean hard sledge-filled deals that most people pass on. Like I've got a deal going down in Vesta right now that I've been working on for months, and it's ugly.
That description of what you buy. is the undersale of a lifetime.
Oh, dude, I'm in that deal for
Yeah.
almost with $200,000 of.
So the way I'll describe Jim from the lender perspective, right, before we were lending, is it's probably going to be a pile of shit, and it's probably going to be really complicated, but he'll probably make $100,000. That's how I describe Jim on a deal. And so it's funny now, not lending him money and just shooting the shit and talking about deals. Like he'll call me about something. I'm like, why? Like why? Why did you even bother? And he's like, I'm gonna make $100,000. I'm like, knock yourself out.
And it's I never in my life thought that we'd be involved in deals like that, but it's for me it's where the opportunity. So I know for several of you, and I even a couple of you I was talking to tonight about this, is I don't really care for the competition. So I'm not. I have a deal going on right now on Cedar and 2nd in downtown Riverside, and the wholesaler that I met at a Orange County meeting called me. I met Luana. You know who Luana is?
Yeah.
So Luana, I met her in Orange County and at Bruce Norris's event in Yorba Linda, and she invites me out, and another guy that I know is there, another buyer is there, and both of us were looking at each other because both of us didn't know the other one was coming. We thought it was our deal. So
with Luana and David.
So we look around, we're looking at the house, and he's looking at me, and we kind of break away to the back of the property where we're just talking to one another, and he goes, well, I don't want to bid you up, and I don't want to bid him up. To be honest with you, I don't. Okay, now this is just my personal thing. I don't want to do that. I wouldn't. If this was a house I wanted to move into, maybe I would consider that. But I don't want to cost this guy $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000. Whatever it was. That's just not my style. So he looked at me and I looked at him, and simultaneously we went, let's just do this together. So I gave cash for the deal, and he gave cash for the deal, and we own this house, and we're in the middle of rehabbing the property right now. But I just don't like the competition, and none of you should like competition.
I like that.
None of you.
That's such an honor amongst thieves thing to do.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's so perfect.
No, I mean, and I would literally rather. I know we've got some big wholesale outfits in the room, or I did see them earlier.
Western here?
Yeah, I saw them back there.
Somewhere?
Okay. Good guys, okay? Good guys. I've been on several, looked at a lot of property actually with them, okay? But I personally don't like going to a site where 43 other buyers are on. I can't afford to buy that house.
And a homeowner freaking out. There's 43 buyers
cannot
in the
afford to buy that house. I can barely afford to buy the ones I buy, let alone the ones where I've got to compete with all of you. It just not my cup of tea. And frankly, I would rather drive to all 4 or 5 counties. I'd rather drive and put 100,000 miles on my new truck, which I love, by the way.
I didn't know you got a new truck.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay,
I'd rather drive in my new car. It's a used car, but anyway.
Oh, you mean the little one?
I got the little one.
The little one, yeah.
Okay.
No, that thing's awesome.
But
you got the mic in.
I would rather drive around and just get people to understand that hey, this is the best I can do for you, and I can solve your problem, and this is the best I can do.
I want to bring up a good point. What do you think? What's the loop? 150, 200 miles some days?
Oh yeah. Well, I just got that truck. It had 30,100 miles, and it has 35,000 miles, and I've owned it for a month and change.
Okay, so
yeah,
I want to make that point. If you're really buying property, depending what you do, right? Like we don't really go look at houses anymore before we have them under contract, because we have the investment club. We went to 12 meetings a month throughout Southern California. We joint venture, so deals sort of naturally come to us because we put out the money. Jim's not joint venturing, so Jim is finding his own deals. When I did my own deals, just all by myself, I did one last year, but I mean, when I do them on my own, you're driving and meeting the owners. And if you're calling yourself a flipper and you can't find a deal and you're not putting a minimum of 100 miles on your car a day, you're probably just not working. And that's about what the loop looks like, a minimum of 100 miles per day. If you stare at your computer more than you drive, you're not a flipper. You're not buying property.
I would agree, and I know like Lisa and Charlie, and multiple times I get a phone call from other folks. There's a few of you in the room that I mean, I was in Riverside, and then we went up to the high desert, and we didn't get home till 7:30. Maybe it was 8 o'clock. I don't remember. And it was a Friday night, and it was cold, and we didn't get anything that day. It sucked. It was a bad day. It just there was nothing good about that day. But you know what? I do it tonight.
But what's the average? What's the average?
Well, I mean, the average is actually very low and very poor. But I do it on my terms, though. That's the whole idea.
It's your so they say that, let's say you're a crap real estate investor, right? You're just the worst. Let's do the MLM pitch, okay? Yeah. You're the worst real estate investor, and you only succeed 1% of the time. What do you see? Five homes a day a lot of times.
You could, if you succeeded 1% of the time, you'd
do
have
a deal a month,
lot
right?
of dough.
It's a deal a month.
And if you do 12 deals a year and make $30,000 per deal, you just made $400,000.
But how many hours did you spend per month?
I'm telling you right now, anyone could do 12 deals on 4.5, 5 hours a day.
I agree.
At the most. And
I
if
agree.
you're spending more time than that on this, you got a problem.
So I want to rein in what Jim said, because I don't recommend anybody drive the mad loop that he's doing, because he's already got gray hair, and I'm not trying to go that direction.
Yeah.
So when I talk to Jim about real estate, like, there are a few people that love this business like I do. Like, Jim's one of the people that loves this business like I do. And we like go back and forth about stuff and get all pumped on weird deals and find a way to make the weirdest odd crap work, right? But you're driving to LA, OC, San Diego.
Yes.
And that has a short lifespan.
I would 100% agree with it, and what I've learned. So remember, I told you how many times I failed in the past. So I'm a perpetual starter.
Yeah, you're a much quicker learner.
Yeah, I have in the past I've had to redo it. I mean, I have to retool everything. I love my wife for that reason. Yeah, honey, sorry, I got fired, or the company isn't there anymore, or whatever the story is, and I had to redo what I was doing. So, and I'm sorry, I forgot the gentleman's name. He's wearing a white leather jacket. Maybe he's not here. You know the gentleman who does the board and care facilities? He told me he has a big. Oh no, guys, what's his name? Is he here? Anyway. No big deal, a $70 million board and care facility. Guys, I like that number. That's a real nice number. And if I can get, half of that deal, no, I just need a little bit of a $70 million deal to live a good life, okay? So all of us, I see what I'm doing as just a stepping stone into like the next thing. So I've gotten very excited in the last couple of months about, I see these McDonald's. My God, you see what they're doing to McDonald's?
The automation?
It blows me away. No, I mean, I can show you 10 sites right now where they tear down one wall, all but one wall. So the whole McDonald's is gone, and there's one masonry wall, and they're building a super McDonald's on the site. Somebody's making a lot of dough there. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know what they're doing it. There's got to be financing for it. Everyone knows there's a load of McDonald's out there that look like crap. Guys, you only got to do a couple of these in a year, and you've done very well for yourself. So I have one closing on Friday that I made the presentation for the Flippy. So this was one that we paid $113 for, and we're going to close escrow at $250. Fantastic deal.
At Alonzo, right?
Okay. This is in Phelan.
Phelan, sorry.
Okay.
Phelan.
Beautiful home, went fast, everything. It was a great deal. Okay. And we collect almost $100,000 on that deal. And I got one a mile or 3 miles down the road in Hesperia that we collect $18,000 on. And what I know is that I knew I was going to make $20,000 on that one, and I knew I was going to make $100,000 on this one. The contractor was driving up the hill. We might as well have done 2 jobs.
Might as well.
Okay, so as long as you can project this stuff and you can see this is going to happen this way, it's a great business. It's a great business, and so I want to get into. I mean, do I actually think I'm going to rebuild McDonald's? Probably not.
I don't know. I guess what I wanted to poke at you at, and we've talked about it because you have a different point of view than I do. We recently sent out a list of properties or cities that we will now buy in. We've shortened our list, and it's basically Inland Empire. And I used to make the loop, which was my big loop because I don't go to LA and OC. It was Banning, Claremont, Temecula. That's my big loop. That's as far as I will go. My expense. Oh, and High Desert, right? Hesperia, Apple Valley. And so when I would either look at the MLS or look at deals, if it didn't fit that city criteria, I would dump them. So when you're new, when you're brand new, it's like this curve, right? There's like this. You get 100 emails in your inbox from wholesale deals, and they're all crap, right? And you've wasted all your time looking at wholesale deals, and then you close 1 or 2 wholesale deals, and the wholesaler remembers you, right? Or you find 2 deals on your own through your own thing, and they remember you. And then you start doing more deals, but then they're everywhere, right? They're like all over the place, and everybody's throwing deals at you, and you're reviewing them all. And then there's like a refinement period, like what we're talking about, like systems and whatever. And then you start closing your circle. And then you get people like Bill Shipp in Riverside who buys Riverside only 1 model of home and knows exactly how to make a profit on it. And the refinement.
And his construction cost is $16,000, and he does a $40,000 remodel job. He buys all his Goodwin heating and air conditioning. He buys 12 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, and they end up putting. So there's like this refinement period.
I'm not organized enough. I'm too.
No, it happens over time.
No,
I feel the same way. way. It happens over time. Like Todd and I talk about all the time. Like we were just saying we need to refine down the system we have more, and then you just you had a family meeting.
Yeah.
Do it some more.
So I'm still chasing shiny objects. I am. I still have this, and I tell myself it's because I'm trying to find the next golden goose. It's not. I haven't done that Beverly Hills.
Don't do one.
$2 million purchase. $65 million resale.
$65 million resale. That's what they're all going to sell for.
Although I was in that part of town today, in fact, and man, there's some beautiful homes out there. I'm not saying I'll ever do one of those deals, but I just like the idea of kind of getting out and seeing the sites, and I've taken a couple of. Listen to me talk. I've taken a couple meetings. No, no. I've spoken to some really smart guys that are doing some really good stuff, but it still comes down to me or my investor or my group of people that I put together, putting $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 of our own money into this thing, and guys, that scares the hell out of me. Okay, I don't have that. I'm 52 years old. I have no money to lose. If I'm going to lose money, I spent $79 on a pancake breakfast with my wife and kids this afternoon. They were the best pancakes I ever had in my life.
Where'd you go?
Where'd we go?
It was the best pancakes you ever had. Nobody remembered the name.
It's called the Griddle House on Sunset and Fairfax. Okay. And they were like these massive pancakes. That's what I'll waste my money on. I saw my little granddaughter's eyes light up. My daughter loved it. That sounds fun to me. But giving some guy, $50,000 and pissing it away, That would destroy me. I would, and it's guys. It's not. You gotta. Please, I sounded really stupid there. It's not the money. It's not the money. It's the fact that we work really hard for what we do, man. This is. I mean, I drive all over heck and gone. There's good opportunity out there. I would never just waste my time and energy, and it's disrespectful to the dollar bill. It's disrespectful to anyone that doesn't have $50,000 to spend on a property. It's disrespectful, and I would never. I just won't let it happen. I shouldn't say it that way. I know it's possible, but I'll do everything in my power not to let that happen.
Okay, so me and you debate this idea back and forth. This why the hell we're doing this thing, right? We've talked about this on several occasions. And like the pancake story, right? Is that specific instance usually ends up being some variation of the end result, right? It's lifestyle. You're buying lifestyles. We're all technically here for better life. No one's actually here because, I'm psychotic and I think you are, and I like houses. For whatever reason, there's some guy who likes organization. There's some woman who just cannot wait to put hole punches in stuff. I'm sure there's like weird people that do all kinds of odd jobs. For me, it's like old crappy houses making them nice.
Love it.
Right? Like it's in me. Other than that weird affliction we have, right? That's the only reason other than lifestyle that we can see ourselves doing this job. So, well, I know there's no new golden goose, right? We talked about like no one actually knows what the next thing is.
Correct.
Right? Have you given any more thought to, now that you are getting more involved in refining, as to why, other than money? Like what are the feelings changing about the business? Because you're like I can't talk to you about detail. If I talk to you about detail in front of this audience, one of two things is going to happen. Yeah. It's either going to go absolute too high of level, right, where we're talking about a complicated deal, or it's going to go to like one of a couple ways you buy property. So, but your thing that you love to talk about is why we're doing this business and like motivating people and like telling them how sort of simple it is. So have you thought a little more about why you're still doing it?
So it's just hard to put into words because I bumbled around. When I'm feeling down about myself, I say I wasted many years of doing nothing. Very ineffective. Okay, not nothing, just ineffective. Okay, kind of a man-child. I just kind of goofy clown, doing not being a real serious guy. Okay, and now I see myself as really building something, and it's really, when I was selling real estate and I was doing it at a fairly high level. I mean, we had like 35 deals going when we were a real estate agent, and I don't know, for some of you real estate agents out there, we were number one at a RE/MAX office. We were very good at what we did, but the responsibility, I think that's what it is for me. I really feel like a responsibility to my little 16-year-old daughter who is being assaulted every day at her high school by, these little guys. I have real feelings about it. I have to be a good guy. I have to be the man in her life, and I have got to do the right thing. Okay, and frankly, I got to do it. I have to make up for the bad things I did to my wife. I've got to be a good man to my 24-year-old daughter, Hannah, who's over here. I've got to be a good grandfather to my 4-year-old, and the idea that I do real estate is actually, I'm trying to like lessen the how it like encompasses our life. And what you guys don't understand is we talk about it at 2 a.m. when we're laying in bed together. We talk about it when I'm in the shower. We talk about it
all the time.
No, guys, if you wanted to take your life over, it's like a drug. You can do it if you want. it can be like that if you want it to be. And I'm not saying that that's the best part of me. So my purpose is just to be a good man, a good human being, be good. It means a lot to me that I'm good to any one of you that come to me and say, hey, can you help me? Or hey, can we do this? You know, sometimes someone told me tonight, they go, oh, I know you're really busy, you're hard to get a hold of. You know, I'm not looking at the phone going, oh, screw them, I can't talk to them. I'm knee deep in it, man. Sometime I'm elbow deep
You're like,
in it.
how am I going to
okay?
get to this?
I don't know how. I can't do it. I can't go any further. My wife gets mad at me because I pick up the phone at 11 o'clock. I get phone calls at 11 o'clock. You're like, what the hell, you know? So having a good purpose is a good thing, and for me, it's really just being a better guy. And I know that sounds stupid.
No, it's not. I don't think you would have given me an answer a year ago.
Yeah, I could see that.
A year ago, and from my own development standpoint, right? Like a year ago, I would have told you, oh, like it's about community and it's about, us getting together and having a good time.
Which is really fun. A sales pitch for your operation.
Yeah, in a way, like totally, like it's about community, and it is about community. I'm learning what community means, but part of the so if anybody's looking for, I think I'm discovering this now, like what breeds success in this business. Quote, success, because success isn't money. What breeds success in this business is that mentality shift. When you put yourself in a leadership position, right? Yeah. And the meaning of what you do is greater than what goes on in your bank account, then the business becomes far more profitable by like default. Yeah. Because you're willing to take on the responsibility of all these other people. When I tell people that, you're trading security for money, right? That's what you're doing. When you go sit down at a table, and I know that you guys end up in some really gnarly situations. When you go sit down at a table, or your wife does, the conversation you're having is, I will solve this problem for you.
And that's the only reason they sell me a $400,000 house for $243,000.
Exactly.
Because they are ready to walk away from the home, and they don't know how to solve the problem. And multiple attorneys have said, you're screwed. And the only reason the attorneys are saying that is because there's no money in it for them. And I long since stopped saying to myself, oh, what kind of a jerk are you buying this house from this lady for $243 when you're going to fix it and sell it for $425? That is not a concern of mine. This lady was going to walk away from her home. Do I have to wrestle with my own conscience for what happens in the deal and how it all comes together? Oh yeah, I do. Believe me, it can be difficult. But it's very fulfilling work. I like the idea. I actually know that I'm helping this. Not only am I helping her out. Where is she going to want with that money? She's going to go to a new location. So I'm lessening the burden on the kids. And this is really who I found the deal from. The kids brought me into this deal. Okay. And the mother's like, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, So.
But that gave you, and we gotta wrap it up. That gave you
that went fast.
It did. That gave you a level of responsibility that I think from deal one to today is like a personal growth, right? Not just the business.
I would agree, and I think that's what all of you ought to consider. Okay, I didn't say you had to do this, but consider taking out the financial component to it. And I know it's really easy for me to say because I got like $20 in my pocket, okay? But take the financial consideration out of this and just do good business. And I'm sorry, if you worked all month and made $5,000 or worked 4 months and made $5,000 but had 3 deals you were doing this on, guys, that's a that's a great. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, the average American family makes $54,000 a year. We all of us are too caught up in $96,000 on one deal or $18,000 on one deal. $54,000 a year.
I've been in a relation for 3 years, and I still can't convince her that $5,000 isn't a lot of money. Like, because my brain has shifted, and she's like, I have a regular job. What the hell are you talking about? So, no, I get that punch in the side every once in a while. It's hey, get your head out of your ass.
Well, no,
And most of us
I get
in
it all
this
the
world,
time. I know that feeling well.
Yeah, we know that we can just work more and make more money in this business.
Yeah.
Most people don't get to have that.
I know, and it's neat. It's neat. It's like, it's a blessing. We should all be, I'm a religious guy. We should thank God that we're here and we're lucky enough to even be, I'll even say it, to be in this room. It's like, these are, Stephen and Todd, like, give this away for $20, It's good stuff. And I'll get like emotional if I start really telling you guys. Like, I invited these guys to my own daughter's wedding in January because I thought it was really important that they come and see part of my family. They see what they helped me with. Okay,
that's kind of neat.
And it was like, you know what? A couple of years ago, me just writing a check or me going, oh, that would be cool if we had dancing gorillas off the balcony. Let's do that. We didn't have gorillas at the balcony, but the point is that
we had you.
Yeah, we were able to enjoy ourselves and have fun and not bite my fingers all day long worrying about where the next $200 was going to come from, and it was a blessing to have that. And I welcome all of you to come along because that's really what it's about. I for sure.
So I want to try and start changing the end of the format of these things. I really like in a lot of Tim Ferriss's interviews on his podcast, he says if you have an ask of the audience, right? What one thing would you ask or tell them to do or whatever? What token or thing, whatever, would you say, do this or I would like this from you?
Okay, it's so simple, guys. I'm talking about like for me to sit here and say that I am a jerk, and for me to say to you, I know all of you are jerks. That's a level of honesty that maybe some of you are uncomfortable with. But I need honesty in my business partners, and I mean like dirty honesty. I mean like, Jim, you're a jerk. What are you talking about? I need this. I need that. Okay? And I know that we've always had it with one another.
Yeah.
And I know that if you can bring that to a deal, okay, and not tell me that not tell me the house is worth $400,000 when it's not. Not tell me that there's my favorite one is $8,000 worth of rehab.
No,
okay?
Never.
So
never.
I've done a lot of deals, and there is no such thing as an $8,000 rehab. Even if the house is a brand new model home that has been sitting vacant for 4 months.
We're still spending.
I guess I could be wrong every once in a while, but it's if it's not $8,000, it'll be $69.95. Okay, I am telling you, it just doesn't happen. So if you're honest, you get the golden ticket. You get the key to the city. Mm-hmm. And I want to say, if I'm speaking with you right now, it's because I feel you're honest. Okay, so I'm not speaking to anyone in the room that, hey, I think I'm being lied to or anything like that. I'm just saying that in our industry, it's just that no one believes us.
It's a breath of fresh air when you find absolute brutal, and when you get to like, this is what's going on in my life, and then a personal touch, and then now I go, let's look at your deal, because now I understand you on a human level, because it's so rare.
And the homeowners freak out.
Yeah.
The homeowners are like completely blown away when you say, okay, I understand you want $268 for the place. I get it. I can't pay that amount. And let me tell you, the person that's going to come in here and promise you to pay $268, they can't pay it either. And this is what's going to happen. And you get a phone call a week later. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Guess what? They didn't put the money in escrow.
It never closed.
What are we going to do? Well, really? I didn't think that was going to happen. No, you're gracious. And you say, oh, that's too bad. I know you really needed to net $194,000 so grandma could go to Happy Trails retirement home. But if I could get you 163 and I could close in 5 days, can we do business together? Boom.
Because you were honest in the beginning.
Because I was honest in the beginning. That's it. That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Keller.
That was nice.